It's really hot in the summer months, even for your pet. If you plan to take your dog to a park or to a city trail, plan ahead. We talked to Lauren Hickel, Animal Care Services dog trainer, and she gave us some tips on how to keep your dog cool this summer.
So the best tips to go by are to always make sure that you're walking your dog either early in the morning or later at night. You don't want to be walking your pet at the peak hottest times because it's just too hot for them to be outside. The pavement can be way too hot for our pets because if the sun is beating on it all day, darker pavement is going to hold on to that heat a lot more than what a light pavement was. But the best test to do is if you stick the back of your hand, lay it on the pavement for about 10 seconds. If it's too hot for the back of your hand, it's way too hot for your dog's pads, because the problem then is that if your dogs are out and they're walking on the pavement, they can actually burn their pads. It's extremely important to make sure that you're taking water with you. Always check the weather to see, depending on how humid it is outside, you might not want to have your pet outside. That's going to be a crucial thing in helping them to stay cool, is providing lots of water for them. So making sure you have some kind of a bowl with you for it. So a really interesting fact is when our dogs are panting, that's how they stay cool. So what actually they're doing when they're inhaling is they're actually removing moisture from their lungs. So if it's too humid, they're not going to be able to remove that moisture because of how humid the air is. So making sure that we're checking the temperatures, we're planning, always carrying water, making sure if you're going to be on a trail or a path that we're using shaded areas as much as possible, knowing the terrain and really knowing your dog's limits. If you have an older dog, being outside doing some strenuous exercise might not be the best option for him, just because they are more prone to heat stroke. So if you're on a trail and you're noticing that your dog is really starting to slow down, heavy, excessive panting, anything from disorientation to excessive water drinking to some lethargy, those are going to be your first indicators that your pet is showing some heat distress. Heat stroke could be, they could be showing some diarrhea, some vomiting. If that happens, your best option is to, one, if you're on a trail, unfortunately, you need to stop. Potentially having some cool rags with you, putting the cool rags up underneath their belly and around their neck can be helpful, and getting them inside to a cold place as quickly as possible. As well as if you're noticing that it's not going away, absolutely take your dog to the vet or to the emergency clinic right away. Heat stroke is not something that you really want to be messing around with. So we see lots of people that like to shave their long-haired dogs. They think that getting rid of the hair is actually going to make their dogs cooler, but that's actually not the case at all. The layers of hair can actually help to keep your dog more cool. So if your dog has long hair, absolutely you can get the hair trimmed, you can still groom, but shaving them down is not going to help, and taking that hair all the way down to their skin can then put them at risk for sunburn.
Explore the fun with your San Antonio Parks and Recreation Department at saparksandrec.com and stay connected with us on social media.